guys, it is January 16th finally. Today is the day that I'm going to the new neurologist. I slept a little bit later than I had anticipated. I'm still really tired. So I have some stuff to do for Bible study. Then we're running to the store and then going to neurology. And then 2 appointments tomorrow. Almost done with this week. And then a nor'eastern. So we're almost there. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. We went to stop at Dunkin' Donuts, which is right behind me. And I was gonna go inside because I like to try to, be as active as humanly possible for my body. And they're using bleach, so we were able to spot, like when my mom opened up the door and I wasn't even inside, able to spot the mop and somebody mopping. So I just came to sit in the car and kind of just wait. I guess though, like right now, like my biggest dream is to not have to worry about this and to not see somebody mopping and go, oh my god, I can like die. So it's really frustrating and overwhelming. And I really saw like one other time that somebody was mopping, like the amount of anxiety that like I had from it, and I didn't really realize that at first how much anxiety I have over bleach and chemicals and people mopping, because that means that a lot of times they are using bleach or chemicals and I can have a problem breathing. So it is quite nerve-wracking. So I guess it's gonna be an interesting day. So I'll do like a full update later, but the neurology appointment did not go as well as we had hoped or expected, and I am sweating so much. I don't know what it's from. I don't know like if it's for some reason my POTS or if it's this neurology stuff. Basically the doctor's staff was very rude, like yelling and stuff. They were like trying to insist that I need a referral for specialists, and I don't. And then when we had somebody from the insurance on the phone, they were like, no, we don't want to talk to them. I'm gonna call them myself. So they wouldn't let me in to see the doctor. It was 30 minutes after my scheduled appointment time. She did not examine me thoroughly. She said I'm not weak, and she was kind of saying again that POTS is not a real illness. So I am very frustrated and very exhausted. So I'm sure I'll think of other stuff, silly stuff that she ended up saying, that I guess I'll put in later. But the bottom line is that we're going to be back to the drawing board. So I'm going to first let my rheumatologist know, and I guess we'll go from there. So I'm pretty exhausted, but it's also a little bit of an exciting day with Bible study. I'm accepting ladies into my group, and that's always just such a fun and exciting day. So at least I have that, to focus on, and it's not all terrible. There's always something good in every day, always something to be thankful for. So I am discouraged and I'm exhausted, to be honest. But hopefully tomorrow's appointment I feel like will go really well. So tomorrow's just going to be a better day, even if it's a high symptom, high pain day with Xolair. I'm a little bit nervous for my 3rd Xolair, but we're just going to see what happens with it. And we're all really monitoring the nerve stuff just because there is not a ton of research with Xolair. So we're just going to monitor with the jerking and everything else. And if we see the jerking getting worse and that it ramps up again for like a few hours straight, it is likely that we will be having the conversation that I'm not staying on this, because if I'm going to be jerking like that all of the time, I can't do it. So, alright, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, so we finally made it home, and I'm extremely relieved, honestly, to be home and just be with Abby, who's over here next to me. She's just Wanna say hi? I'm just looking around, watching the snow. Wasn't supposed to snow today, but it has been off and on. So that explains a lot of the dystonia stuff. But the doctor just was not really willing to listen to everything. I know it's really hard. There's a lot of stuff. But you also, like, know when people don't want to listen, like they just can't be bothered, versus like, oh, there's a lot to sort through. So she didn't really seem interested in being a doctor, period. She was like, oh yeah, I have an idea of what's going on. No, you don't need to know. Your doctors don't need to know. Even when I was like, well, in addition to a nerve study test, what would you, like, other testing would be helpful for us at this point. My doctors would like to know, my nurses would like to know, I would like to know at this point. And she's like, well, I'm just not gonna tell you. It's like, all right. So she was very difficult, it seems like, to work with, but really the biggest thing, besides she doesn't communicate well at all, she's very hard to understand, she speaks very fast. English is not her primary language, so there's a little bit of a language barrier. So it's really that and the office not being clean. Those are kind of the deal breakers for me. And then again, I don't know what it is with neurology over there, but she doesn't really seem to think, again, that POTS is a real disease. And I'm really blown out of the water. I mean, POTS went from being pretty rare to pretty common. And I just, it blows my mind with all the research that we have currently that doctors still are insisting it's not a real disease. I also did get the feeling that she's kind of was implying that I'm lazy. So that's always really, really difficult. Because even when you know, like, okay, yes, there's something wrong, there's always part of you that's like, all right, like, am I crazy? Because the symptoms sometimes and the pain is just so unbearable that, like, you do question your own sanity at times. And for her, like, to imply that I'm just lazy, I don't really have weakness going on. It was really, really, really discouraging, just because I waited for this appointment. I was really hopeful and excited to be here. And then it's the reality that I have to go back to the drawing board. I have to now find another neurologist in my insurance plan, and I don't even really want to, because apparently I really stink at picking out neurologists. So I'm be asking for some help from my rheumatologist and my PCP. I'm seeing my PCP next Friday, and then tomorrow is Xolair and gastro. Sorry, it took a minute for me to think of who it was.